The bathtub water was still running when I turned the lock. A soft click, so small it almost felt imagined. Inside, laughter hiccuped. Wet, intimate, familiar in a way that didn't belong to me anymore. I stood there with the key between my fingers, listening to the slosh of water and the low murmur of voices I knew better than my own pulse. Steam leaked under the door. The house smelled like vanilla candles and bleach. Party supplies waited in the trunk of my car. Balloons, a cake with her name iced too carefully. I didn't breathe. I didn't move. I felt my mind step backward, as if my body had become a room I no longer occupied. Phone out. First call. My lawyer answered on the third ring. I said only my name. He heard the rest in my silence. Second call. Her name appeared on the screen before I pressed it. My best friend's wife, the other half of this symmetry. I told her where to come. I told her not to knock. I hung up and leaned my forehead against the door. Inside, something shifted. A thigh against porcelain. A kiss, maybe, or the idea of one. I waited, because control isn't loud. It's patient. I had arrived early because I always did, because surprises require preparation, and preparation requires faith that the ground beneath you is solid. I had unlocked the door quietly, already smiling, already rehearsing her reaction. The light was on upstairs. Music played low. His jacket hung on the back of a chair like it belonged there. That was the first cut. The second was the sound. Water. Laughter. Not hers alone. I told myself there was an explanation, there always is, until there isn't. My mind offered excuses like cheap gifts. Maybe a plumbing emergency. Maybe he'd stop by. Maybe... Then I saw the discarded clothes. His jeans. Her sweater. A symmetry again. Folded. Careful. Denial is a muscle memory. You don't realize you've been using it until it cramps. I didn't open the door. I didn't shout. I didn't need to see skin to understand intimacy. The bathtub was enough. The locked door was mercy. Inside me, something recalibrated. A quiet shifting of weight. Love doesn't vanish in moments like this. It fractures. Sharp edges. Dangerous to hold. I thought of years, of dinners, of trust loaned without interest. I thought of how often he'd been here, how comfortable he'd looked in my house. The realization didn't scream. It settled. Time stretched. I leaned against the wall and let my face empty itself. Calm is a decision you make over and over again. I made it. From behind the door came movement, a question, a laugh that died halfway through. They didn't know yet. They were still inside their version of the story. I thought of details. His phone always face down, her sudden privacy, the way they shared glances that slid past me, not around me. Patterns revealed themselves when you stop needing them to be innocent. I walked downstairs and sat at the kitchen table. My hands didn't shake. I noticed that with interest. I lined up the coasters, straightened a napkin. Investigation isn't always active. Sometimes it's just allowing the truth enough room to enter. I opened my laptop, pulled phone records I'd never bothered to check. The dates aligned too neatly. Gaps explained themselves. Footsteps upstairs. A pause. A whispered panic. I closed the laptop. The doorbell rang. Once, then again. I opened the front door and let them in without a word. My lawyer first, calm eyes, a nod, then her. The other wife, her face already pale, already knowing. We recognize each other in that instant, survivors of the same blast radius. I gestured toward the stairs. We climbed together. At the bathroom door, I knocked once. Silence. I unlocked it. The room bloomed with heat and horror. Water lapped against porcelain. Skin scrambled for cover. My wife's mouth opened, then closed. His eyes went to the other woman in the doorway and stayed there. No one spoke. I handed him my phone, open to the records, to the timeline, to the proof. He didn't look at me. He started to cry. I watched her instead, watched the moment she understood that this wasn't a misunderstanding, that the story had ended. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. I told him to leave. I told her to stay. Words like tools, precise. He wrapped himself in a towel that didn't belong to him and brushed past his wife. She didn't move. Shock had nailed her to the floor. When the door closed behind him, the house felt larger, emptier. I turned to my wife. She reached for me. I stepped back. "No," I said, soft, final. My lawyer placed a folder on the counter. Divorce papers, prepared in advance, because control is patient. I watched my wife's hands shake as she touched the edge of the sink. The mirror showed her twice. Neither version recognized me. I thanked her for clarifying things. That was all. Later, when they were gone, I sat alone at the kitchen table. The cake would melt. The balloons would deflate. None of it mattered. I felt hollowed out, not empty, hollowed, like something had been removed cleanly. I understood then that vindication isn't joy, it's alignment, the moment when reality and perception finally agree. I stood up, turned off the lights, locked the door behind me. Some losses teach you how to walk away without looking back. I walked.